Not everyone follows mainstream trends when it comes to putting together an outfit. Some people choose to create fashions instead. And one of those innovators is Mehtap Elaidi, a Turkish designer who's marked 17 years since creating her own clothing line. Her trendy collections, along with experimental cuts, have become her brand's trademark. With her work being sold in 19 countries across the globe, Elaidi has no doubt attracted the attention of fashion lovers. And Mehtap Elaidi herself joins us in the studio today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I want to start off by asking what the most important characteristics and elements are of your designs.
Actually, you just made a summary of what I'm going to say now. But when I create my collections, my first aim is to make women who prefer our collections to feel unique and special in a way. So what we're doing in our collections is we, of course, keep the trends, but we always try to give some space to the Elaidi women, let's say, to create their own looks, actually, because I think that's what's happening in the fashion world nowadays. It's not actually the trends you're following, it's actually what you're creating with them. So everybody has their own personal looks and personal ways of defining the trend. So all my pieces in my collections actually gives you that space. So I would say maybe, and another thing is that they have to be functional. You have to feel comfortable in them.
Yeah.
So I think when you combine all those three characteristics, then would come my collections. Yes.
So your autumn and winter collection is coming out, or has already came out.
Yeah.
What moods are in this collection, and what inspired you?
Okay. Our inspiration was actually the first female studio photographer of Turkey, actually. And she had this amazing family history. But what we were interested in was that for 50 years she had this very strict discipline about her work, and she did the same thing day after day for 50 years. But the one thing that caught me was she was not participating in life, but she was just recording it in her studio. And from her archive, which was found years later by coincidence, you could see the timeline of Istanbul social life. So it attracted me a lot because there was this woman with a great will for her job, and still she chose not to live, but to record, actually, by taking the pictures. Wow. So, and this was on Istiklal Caddesi, so
one of the main streets in
yes,
Turkey,
and at the time it was the only mainstream street, actually. So what we did was we took her 50 years of timeline and defined in our imagination what would be the collections in that place, in that time. So we had lots of skirts and dresses, actually, because she was very keen on taking pictures when the women would hold them up in a way, in a posing manner. So we took those and we took the colors
and made it a whole collection.
Yeah, and then put them all together and made the collection, I guess.
Wow. So, as we said earlier, you have stores in 19 different countries across the globe. Who is your typical customer?
Actually, that's very interesting because, I mean, first of all, we don't have stores, but we have sales points.
Okay.
I mean, like we're in department stores and small boutiques. And the interesting thing is we are very strong in the Middle Eastern countries. For 15 years now, we've been selling. But we're also very strong in Italy, and now we have started selling in Asia, in Japan, in China, in Korea. So actually it's very hard for me to say this is my woman because I'm also confused.
There's a whole bunch of cultures.
Exactly. I mean, I think the reason for that is we're not strongly emphasizing on any one trend or style.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I mean, we're trying to give some space to the people who prefer our brand. So I can describe just one woman, but I could say many types of women who can create their own look and are free to live their own choices, maybe.
So the Elaidi woman.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Showcase today.
Thank you.